Good morning, guys. This is Jorge with Greystone Investment Group, where you invest and we do the rest. Today, I want to talk to you about a way that you can start buying investment properties with only $5,000, as minimum as $5,000. What is the concept? How does it work? Well, very simple. You get into a lease option with a minimum of $5,000. You exercise that lease option in 2 years and the property is yours. This is a crazy concept. We've already done it several times where the investor, we find a property, they pick any of the properties we have, and they say, Jorge, I want to buy this property in particular, and we'll create a lease option where a lease option is the option of buying the property when you're ready to do it. So let's say that you put a lease option together. Let's say you identify a property you like. You go to our website, greystoneig.com, and identify a property you like. All you have to do is fill out a small form, and if you qualify, you could buy that property with only $5,000. $5,000 as a down payment, and then you pick up the rent to own payments. So this is really cool because you could then sublease your property to either Airbnb, or you could do house hacking where you buy the property, live in one of the rooms, rent the other two as a corporate rental, Airbnb, whatever the case might be. But for those of you that have been waiting for the perfect opportunity to be able to start buying investment properties, and I've spoken to hundreds of you in the past 20 years, I know that there's a lot of people with the desire of getting into this business, but often don't have the capital. I've talked to hundreds of people that tell me I have $5,000, I have $10,000, I have $15,000, and in the past I have not been able to help you. Now I can. With this new awesome concept, you go to our website, greystoneig.com, you identify a property you like. With as little as $5,000, the property is yours. It's done through a lease option. This lease option allows you to sublease the property. So this is the key that makes it work really well, because you buy the property, you lock it, it's yours on an option. You close on it 2 years, or as soon as you are capable of closing, whether it's 6 months from now, 12 months from now, you can exercise the option of buying that property whenever. But in the meantime, you could also either put a tenant, do what is called a sandwich lease, which means you leasing here on the top, and then you leasing from the landlord, and then you subleasing to an end tenant. This is a really great, easy way that if you have a couple of $1,000s, easy way to start building your portfolio of properties. Not only is so easy that you can do it with $5,000, you could actually pick up a property every year with $5,000 to $10,000, as long as you do it the correct way. The key is having a contract, in this case a lease option, that allows you to sublease. So in other words, you're gonna be the senior tenant, or you're gonna have the option to buy the property 2 years from now, and then you're gonna have an end tenant paying that rent for you. That's the way it works. And I'm telling you, we've had a couple of people that have done it already, that with $10,000 are planning to pick up 2 properties, and they're killing it, because very simple. I mean, you have several options. You buy it with a lease option, you sublease it, so you have that person take over your payments. You're still responsible, of course. You gotta make sure that whomever you put at the end is vetted and is gonna pay your lease option payments on time. But you have the option of doing that, or you have the option of actually living in the property for a year, 2 years, renting a couple of rooms, if you're single, to Airbnb, having that income cover the mortgage, so now you're living for free in the property. In the meantime, because the lease option is designed with a specific sales price at the beginning, so in other words, if the agreement was for 120, even if the property is worth 150 2 years from now, that's equity that you get to keep. So in summary, why is this so powerful? Why have people done it, have never done it before? Very simple. The main reason is because we're making 5,000 phone calls a week to distressed sellers. They're giving us an exchange because we're paying top dollars for this property. In exchange, we're getting longer contracts. When we get longer contracts, this is allowing us to put an investor on the top that's going to buy the property. You, the junior investor, that are going to lease option the property from the senior investor, and then you're going to sublease the property to another tenant. Therefore, you lock the price on the property today. 2 years from now, you close. In the meantime, you have a tenant that's paying your mortgage or your lease payments. And 2 years from now, if you bought this property on a lease option under an LLC or any type of corporation, it's very simple, very easy, guys. If after 2 years you've been paying the lease option, or your tenant's been paying your lease option payments, and you've done things right, you made every single payment, it's very easy for me to take this to a private lender 2 years from now and say, listen, this is actually an actual investor. They put this contract in the lease option, but with the main purpose of owning the property as an investment. They bought it with a corporation or LLC. The property is now worth another $20,000. With 80% loan to value, would that fit? If it fits, you have 6, 7, 10 different options of private lenders out there wanting your business, wanting to give you a loan for this. So to summarize it again, you go to GraystoneIG.com, you look for a property you like, with a minimum as $5,000. You can pick up this property with a lease option. You take it as is, the property, so you might have to do some repairs. That's the only thing that's gonna come out of pocket. But often, if you're an investor, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? If you start in real estate, you gotta do what you gotta do. So if you have to start fixing the property yourself, you do it. But the key is, like, this has never been available before. I've told so many people that if you don't have a minimum of $50,000, I cannot help you. So that's what I've been saying to people for many, many years. And now I'm so proud to be able to tell people, hey, if you have $5,000, let's talk. You might be able to become one of our investors. It's not rocket science, guys. This has been around for many, many years. It's just the way that we put it together to make it very simple and easy to execute. So in a summary, what you're doing is, in other words, in lame terms, you're going to be leasing the property with the option of buying it on the top, and then you're going to sublease it to a tenant that's going to pay the payments for you. Very simple. And to qualify is very easy. So if you have any questions, email me, Jorge@GraystoneIG.com, Jorge@GraystoneIG.com. But you can also leave me your email under this video and I'll provide you more information. This is real. We had a client that with only $5,000, 2 clients actually, within $5,000, bought 2 properties last week with a lease option. And a lease option is, you fix the price today, you guys get into an agreement or what the price is going to be today to execute the actual purchase of the property 2 years from now. So the property, in other words, is yours. Typically, when you do a lease option, the landlord knows that you're eventually going to pay it. Therefore, you're going to be responsible for repairs and stuff like that. So it's a win-win situation for both parties, because one doesn't have to worry, the seller doesn't have to worry about doing repairs. You don't have to worry about qualifying, but you want to build some equity. You buy the property as a lease option, and then you sublease to an end tenant. We've done this a couple of times. To us, it's a winning strategy. If you have $5,000-$10,000 minimum and you've been wanting to invest in real estate, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. This is the first time that we're able to do this in my 20 years of doing real estate. It's the first time that I could tell people, okay, if you got $5,000-$10,000, come in, pick the property you want, it's yours. Doesn't happen too often. It's not rocket science. The process has been around for many, many, many years. It's just that the way that we're putting it together, simplifying the whole process, is what makes it. You wanted to do it with us here at Greystone. I see Jacob is here, Damian is here, Lilia's here, Leonel is here, Megan is here, David. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You guys have any questions? You know, I'm all about maximizing my time. So these 30 minutes that I have to do to go to work, I always try to do a video, because when I get to the office, I'm packed. I have appointments every 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, leave me comments here, and I will make sure that I answer every question that anybody has. But very simple again. Go to GreystoneIG.com, pick the property you like. Let's talk about it. Have in mind that you need a minimum of $5,000. If you have a little more, even better. But let's put a plan together. Let's do this together. Let's figure out a way to make you wealthy. Utilize that money that you get in as a refund on taxes to make you wealthy. Invest it. Don't waste it in crap. Don't waste it in gifts. Invest it in real estate. And this is the easiest way that you can do it. Buy a property with the option, a lease option, only $5,000. Go to GreystoneIG.com, pick it, and let's talk about it. I'm not saying that everybody's going to qualify for it, but it's a good starting point. That if you have $5,000 minimum and really the desire of doing this business, that you give us a call. It's very simple. You could pick any of our properties. We don't have a lot because they're going fast, very fast. But you could pick up any of the properties, put $5,000 down, do a lease option on the property, which is going to be a win-win situation for everyone, because these are off-market deals. So you are going to get a good deal regardless, probably cheaper than the MLS. You're going to lock the property in a lease option. You're going to have 2 years to execute this lease option. In the meantime, you're going to do a sandwich lease. You're going to do a sublease. It's easier than ever, guys. Airbnb one of the rooms, for God's sake. You know, rent one of the rooms as Airbnb, corporate rentals. Have that second room garage. Let's look into garage conversions, in-laws. If you find a property like that, jump on it, because then not only you securing the purchase of this property, I mean, you have at least an option of buying this property 2 years from now, but you have a tenant that is going to pay for most of it. In the meantime, you keep building cash flow and repeat the process. The really cool concept about this is that it's never been offered to investors. Typically, it's been offered to primary buyers. But we've put the process together. By the way, it's not rocket science. It's very easy. It's just that we have streamlined the process. But we have put the process together where now investors have the chance of buying properties with as low as $5,000, being able to sublease those properties, ride the appreciation for 2 years, rent the property in the meantime to Airbnb, whatever you want, one of the rooms, in-laws, have that money cover the rent, and rinse and repeat the process, guys. And we're gonna do this with an LLC or a corporation. So when you're doing the lease option, you're gonna do it with an LLC, because after 2 years, you're gonna make my job so easy to find you lending. If you're doing this lease option under a corporation, it's gonna be very easy, because after 2 years, you have some equity that's been built. Now you have a payment history, and it's very easy to say, Mr. Private Lender, can this person take over the property? And by the way, think about this. No real estate commission, so you don't pay any real estate commission. You don't have to worry about, looking for a property, spending time. So just that alone, and the fact that you're buying this, exercising the lease option in 2 years from now, that's almost guaranteed equity for you. Okay? So very simple. Go to GraystoneIG.com. As long as you have $5,000 minimum, the more the better. Look at some of the properties we have. Is there one in particular you like? Let us know. Let the team know. And we'll work for you. It's not for everyone. You're not automatically approved. But now with $5,000, we can actually talk. $5,000, $10,000, we can talk. I've talked to hundreds of people in the past, thousands of people that say to me, well, I only have 20,000, I only got 15,000. And I've said to them, I'm sorry, that's not enough to invest. That's not enough to invest. Or now somebody with a $20,000 401k, $25,000 401k could pick up a couple of these. It's not rocket science. You have to do your due diligence though. You gotta make sure that you know who you put in place, the tenant that you put in place is a good tenant. You have to make sure that you're a little handy. Ideally, you fix the property yourself, because these are going to be off-market deals, sold as is. And as long as you do your business plan correctly, you're going to do very well, because then you could sublease. You do the lease option at the top, so now you secure the sales price. You execute that 2 years from now. In the meantime, you sublease to another tenant, Airbnb, corporate rentals, whatever the case may be. Actually, I was looking for a hotel the other day here in the Tampa Bay area. It was kind of like a last minute thing. I wanted to do something with my wife for Valentine's, not be at the house with the kids. And I couldn't find one single room. And we went to like 10 different hotels until I gave up, came back home and didn't do anything. But Airbnb, there's so many options that you can do. Airbnb, corporate rentals, the demand for rentals is huge. Okay, so very easy strategy. This is an opportunity that has never been given out there, where you could have $5,000 to $10,000. We're gonna teach you how to do the whole process, where you can buy the property with a lease option, have a sublease, rent the property, and do this twice a year. Buy 2 properties a year. I want to thank, let me see, everybody's here. Denise Araya, David, Elizabeth, thank you for joining. Jacob, thank you for joining. Damian, Lilia, thank you for joining. Leo, thank you for joining. Megan, David, Ryan, Matthew, and Aaron. Guys, any questions? Like I said, this is the perfect time to ask any questions, because once I hit the office, I am booked every 15 minutes until 6 p.m. Dale, thanks for joining. Once again, guys, the process is very simple. All you're gonna do is you're gonna do a lease option. What is a lease option? Pretty much it's a promise to the seller that you're gonna buy the property at a specific price once all of your lending is in place, usually 2 years from now, 2, 3, or 4 years from now. What is the benefit to the investor? Well, the benefit for a minimum down payment, sometimes as low as $5,000, sublease the property. Even if you break even, somebody's paying those payments for you. And then you rinse and repeat the process. Or you could live in the property for a year like I did. That's how I bought 22 homes. I lived in one for a year, fixed it myself, rented a couple of the rooms, and rinse and repeat the whole process. So you could actually live in the property, stop paying for apartment guys. Move into a house, rent a couple of rooms, maximize your cash flow, build cash, and rinse and repeat the process. As long as you do the lease option as a buyer under a corporation, so this is the key, opening up an LLC or a corporation, then it's very easy 2 years from now. The question of whether you get approved for lending after 2 years or not is almost out of the question, because if you're buying it as an LLC, there's going to be a ton of private investors that are going to say, okay, let me look at this. So they've been paying this on time for 2 years. They bought this with an LLC. They have the price locked at, at a specific price. Let's call it $100,000. But now the property's worth $120,000. You see how easy it would be for a private lender to say after 2 years, okay, we'll give you the note. And all you had to do was to put $5,000, make sure that there was a tenant in place right away, keep up with the property, fix it little by little, and then after 2 years, the property is yours. So I hope you guys like this information. Everything starts at going at GrayStoneIG.com, going to the lease to own properties, contact us, and then we could go through the process later on how we can make you an investor with at least $5,000. Thank you for your time. Josephine, thank you for joining. And remember, at Greystone, you invest, we do the rest. If you have any questions, leave them here, and I will try to answer them before the end of the day. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.